Hey everybody, so this video was really highly requested. Don't you love my venue change? It's my baby's room. This video is not about makeup, okay? I know that's what I always do, or hair, or some on the rare occasion, but I want to talk about my weight loss journey. So for those of you who don't know the timeline, in January of 2018, I was blessed and had my baby boy. I weighed in the hospital, when I went in, I weighed 169 pounds. I'm 5'2", so my frame is small. I lost a lot of weight during my pregnancy because I was so sick, so my body went through a ton of changes, and then I breastfed him for 7 months. I have a whole tattoo dedicated to it, and I would do it all over again. While I was breastfeeding, I had the IUD, Mirena. They gave it to me because they thought that that would help with my abnormal bleeding and whatnot, and it made my life miserable. I had mood swings. My face was super oily. I don't know if it was breastfeeding or the IUD, but I literally did not lose any weight while breastfeeding. Like, I maybe lost like 10 pounds over the 7 months, maybe. I don't think I even lost that. So I did eat a lot. I actually had cravings when I was breastfeeding. It wasn't until after I stopped that I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel bad. I only had the IUD because it was the safest option with breastfeeding. So as soon as I was done, I went and requested that it be taken out. I want you to listen to these words that I'm about to say and understand how the medical system can work sometimes. Now, I have clients that are nurses. I have a lot of respect for doctors, but there's something going on, okay? I have pretty good insurance, and they told me it would be $150 to get my IUD taken out, which is a 2-second thing. I guess they thought that would scare me, and I said, okay, I will write you the check right now. Take it out. So they took it out, and a month later, I got a check in the mail for $125. They just took my copay out. That was it. There was no extra fee, and I truly think it was a scare tactic. After I got it taken out, I felt so much better, and guess what started happening? I started losing weight. However, it wasn't completely because of the IUD, but throughout all the people I've talked to, I really want to stress that the IUD kept me from losing weight, and I know several other people who have gained weight. And I also have shared this experience with a lot of people. They got theirs taken out, and every single person lost 20 pounds in a month. So your hormones are very important to your health as well as to your weight. So just be aware of that. But anyways, let's go into how I weigh what I weigh. I have a lot of people who are like, Noelle, what the heck? How did you do it? First of all, I drink goodness gracious, like maybe once every 3 months. I do not drink alcohol that often at all. Alcohol is pure sugar. That is something I like to do before I got pregnant, and it was no doubt why I was curvy, which nothing is wrong with that. I miss it. And I'm trying to get back to that, but alcohol is, like I said, pure sugar, and it does nothing but make you gain weight. So I changed that part of my lifestyle. I'm just not interested in it anymore. It doesn't do anything for me. And I don't think wine upon occasion is wrong. You can do whatever you want, but I do think that has a lot to do with how much weight I've lost. Another thing is I did research on diets. There's a million diets out there, but I found a article from the 60s, okay, on this diet, and it's called intermittent fasting. Everyone is like, that doesn't work. It absolutely does. What you do with intermittent fasting is you only allow yourself to eat a certain period of time throughout the day. So basically, you don't eat unless it's between the hours of noon and 5 o'clock. So what that meant for me is basically I would have one meal a day, one big meal, and I would snack around it, and then I would fast for the remainder of the time. What this does, in my opinion, is it trains your stomach. Throughout this fasting period, you can have water, tea, herbal tea, no sugar, and black coffee. Talking about coffee, if you know me, you know that I love my coffee. When I was cutting weight, I would go get a coffee, a Bang Energy coffee, and the cool thing about it is it has 1 gram of sugar and 20 grams of protein. I would get my coffee in the morning and I wouldn't want to eat until later in the afternoon because caffeine is a natural appetite suppressant. So when you have caffeine, it makes you not as hungry. It reduces your appetite. Before I found these coffees, I was taking caffeine pills because I was like, how am I going to have a coffee that doesn't have sugar in it? Now every time I go to the coffee shop, I get it sugar-free with skim milk, and it makes such a difference. Along with the intermittent fasting, I did not do this for an extended period of time. It's not meant for you to do for an extended period of time. Sometimes I accidentally do it because when I go to work, I will be so busy all day that I won't have time to eat. But I, again, am changing that because eating is important. I mentioned sugar earlier. Sugar is in everything. When you pick up a packet of crackers, I especially love like the cheese ones with peanut butter in them. If you look at that pack of crackers, there is a ton of sugar in it. We are under the conception that juice is good for us. A lot of juice is not 100% juice, and even if it is, you're looking at the same grams of sugar that are in a soda. I have not drank soda in over a year. I gave that up for my 2019 resolution, and I've not had it since then. I was drinking diet soda prior to my New Year's resolution, but the amount of sodium that was in it was still making me bloat. They say abs are made in the kitchen, and I absolutely believe that because it is all about your diet. Sugar will feed a lot of hormonal issues. I was diagnosed with polycystic ovarian syndrome after I had my baby. Yes, 12 years after seeing specialists for my period, I was finally diagnosed. I'm not going to talk about that right now, but something that I've found is that sugar feeds polycystic ovarian syndrome. Sugar feeds disease. Since I have taken sugar out, now I will have it. Now I will have sweets. I cut out sweets for a long time. But ever since I really started paying attention to nutrition labels, the weight just dropped. Because I'm telling you, sugar is awful. It serves no nutritional purpose. And although you do need natural sugars, there are so many unnatural sugars in a lot of things we eat. There are things that sugar are in that it doesn't even make sense to be in, okay? So if you pay attention to that label, you will learn a lot. So I've gone over hormones and how the IUD was awful to me. Intermittent fasting, which is how I cut weight so fast and trained my stomach. Sugar being terrible for us, yet it is in everything. And caffeine is a natural appetite suppressant. If you are not used to caffeine, please do not go take a caffeine pill that has 200 milligrams of caffeine in it. I have a high tolerance. I drink coffee almost every day. My coffee is pretty much my therapy. things that were bad for me used to be my therapy, but babies change everything, and my baby changed my life for the better, for the way better. And I put my own needs aside for his sake, and now I've learned to balance my life better so that I can be the best mom I can be and make sure that he is taken care of perfectly as well. There is something I didn't really mention in this video, and that's exercise. I grew up a dancer, and after I graduated high school, I pretty much didn't work out at all. So if you're busting your butt in the gym trying to lose weight, it can be done, and it's going to take a long time. But if you're not changing your diet, then you're not really going to get the results that you want. I hardly ever eat fast food. Now I try to eat. When I go to the grocery store, I am staying in mainly one section, and it's the produce section, because those are the things that are good for you. Now, another thing I'm not going to talk about is GMOs and all the preservatives they put in that stuff, but I try to get the best of the best, and if it's organic or locally grown, that's even better. Back to exercise. I have always stretched because my bones, standing up doing my job that I do as a hairstylist and makeup artist, and even my modeling, if I don't stretch my muscles out, I will hurt. So I do that pretty often. I also got into yoga for a little bit after I stopped breastfeeding, and that has been the best. It's only been recently that I started getting back into the gym, and I see results immediately because I got the diet part out of the way, and now I'm doing the exercise. If you diet and exercise, if you're trying to lose weight, you may not need to lose any weight. This is just my story. The combination is definitely more effective. Exercise changes your body dramatically, and so does dieting. So I feel like a lot of us don't move as much as we should. I make it a point to get outside with my kiddo as much as I possibly can. And I have a joke that the reason I've lost so much weight is because I am constantly chasing around my crazy little boy, which that might be true too. I also want to say, although I just started recently getting back into the gym, my child at 3 months old weighed 17.5 pounds. I have the best arms of my life. Even though I've been a hairstylist for 5 years and I use my arms in my job, I have the best arms I've ever had, and I was doing weight training with my baby. I also think that helped my core, my back. Literally, I don't know if you've tried it, but doing weightlifting with your baby is fun for both of you. So I still do it to this day. My baby weighs almost 35 pounds now. He just turned 2. So he's a little hefty boy. But I think weight training and stretching and dieting is how I've accomplished all I have. If you would have told me that I would be a model after I had a kid, I would say you're freaking crazy. But that is what my life is. And I am so happy and I feel so good. But if it weren't for my diet, I wouldn't have been able to do any of that. Now I am to the point I have kept the weight off for quite some time. And I think because of all the lifestyle changes I've made, I'm hoping that it won't hit me for a while, but it may. So I hope you've learned a couple of things, and for everyone who's asked me questions, I hope I answered them. So if you're trying to cut weight, just remember caffeine is a natural appetite suppressant, but don't overdo it. And try intermittent fasting. There are very old studies that have made this very effective, especially for women. We as women are made very differently from men. Our hormones are completely different. Our bodies are completely different, especially if you've had a child. Make sure your hormones are good. Birth control can make a huge impact on your body and your mind. So make sure you're on the right one for you. I'm currently on a low dose pill with estrogen in it, and that estrogen makes me feel a little bit better. But the IUD was definitely not for me. So my coffee without my IUD and my little bit of exercise that I do and my baby boy are the keys to my happiness and the keys to me getting to where I'm at with my body. I have never felt more comfortable in my skin, even when I was a dancer and a cheerleader and a pageant girl. So, if anyone has any questions for me, leave them below and I will be sure to answer them. But I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I wish you the best in your journey with yourself.